Welcome back, wicked crafters. We are again here in my craft room and we're going to be working on some more little pieces to go into our little storybook journals. So before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Subscribe, turn on the little notifications bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos. Also, make sure that little notifications bell is marked all so that you receive all of my notifications. I'm going to be doing a couple of different projects for our storybook journals today. I'm trying to get these journals finished up. I still have a few more things that I'd like to do in them. If you haven't seen the first few videos that we've done with these storybook journals, I will link them in the description below so you can go and check out all of the videos in this series. But today we're going to be doing these little specimen card pockets. As you can see right here, they're going to be pockets in one of the pages. And also we're going to be doing another project, which is these little hidden paperclip cards right here. So you can see this is a little hidden card and it's got a little hidden paper clip on the back, so you can slide that right over a page. So we're going to be doing both of these projects in today's video. All right, so let's get started with the specimen cards first. I'm going to set my journal aside for right now. This is what they look like. I did a couple of them ahead of time, but I want to show you how I went about and made these. They're fairly easy to make, and you can do different sizes. You could do them as just the specimen card. You could do some writing spots on the back. You don't have to turn these into a pocket. You could actually put these on, you could glue them on a page, whatever you wanted to do. There's lots of different ways you could do them. But I have the actual template for these little specimen cards. I'm going to be listing these up in my Etsy shop because I'm going to be doing some die cuts for these. I already designed some die cuts. So you're going to get, if you order these, you're going to get 3 die cuts. And it's the top pieces right here and the bottom pieces right here, as well as some other pieces that go along with it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make this. But what we're going to do is I actually printed on cardstock, plain white cardstock paper. So we're going to decorate these a little bit. You can print these out on other types of paper. I actually did that on this one right here. It isn't as heavy as the cardstock is. It is a little bit lighter, but that's okay. It still will work. You could actually do 2 of these. You could glue them together to make them a little bit sturdier, which is, I think, is what I'm going to do with this particular one. But for now, we're just going to use the actual cardstock die cuts that I have. Okay, so I'm going to take my 3, they're like a stamped cover right here. As you can see, they've got the scalloped stamped edge, and then they have the open window that you're going to be able to see through, just like right here. Now on this one, I actually did some stitching all the way around as well, just to kind of add a little bit, which I think I'm going to do for all of them. But I want to first put some design and put some color on these so that they're not so plain looking. So I have a few different stamps out. I have a couple of my wooden block stamps. I have some big floral stamps, which I like these because they're big and they cover a lot of space. So you'll be able to cover a lot of that white space. So I have just a couple of different ones of those. And then I also have some small stamps. I have a word background. This one has just some faux text to it. I also have some like a beehive text print. Let's start. I'm gonna get some book page just to put down so that way I can stamp and not have to worry about let's see here, not have to worry about getting my ink on my pad. So I just have a plain book page that I'm going to stamp on. Okay, so for the first one, I think I'm going to use one of these floral stamps. And let's see what I want to use for stamp color. I don't have a whole lot. I think I'm going to use the ground espresso. It's a darker brown color. I want it to be very kind of natural looking. I'm not going to do color on any of these. I did do red on one of them, but I'm just going to use the ground espresso on this one. So I'm just stamping that ground espresso right on my stamp here. Make sure I have it really good. All right, that's probably good. And then I'm just going to stamp right on top. Actually, let's move this way so I get the whole stamp on the paper and not on my mat. Yeah, I'll keep it just like that. So let's just do just a quick stamp on that one. Oh yeah, that's nice. So as you can see, it just made a little print on there, and you could kind of go around the edges again as well if you wanted to have a little extra, if you have anything left over. Yeah, I just want a little design around the edge. You don't have to have a whole lot. I'm gonna go ahead and ink those edges up, but I think that's nice. Just gives it a little texture. All right, so we'll do that one on that cover. And let's clean that one off. All right, I'm gonna use my other one. This is like a tulip, maybe? We'll do that one, and I'm gonna do a different color ink on this one. Let's try Hickory Smoke. This is kind of a grayish color. So we'll do the Hickory Smoke on this one. It's kind of like an off black, grayish off black color. All right. And we'll take this one and let's just do this one right here. That's kind of nice. You can see it's a little bit lighter. I like that just as it is. I'm not going to do any more. I'm just going to distress the edges on that one. So we'll keep those two. And then lastly, let's use one of these textures. Let's do the honeycomb. We have one with text already up here. This is the one that I did with text, but we don't have one with the honeycomb. I think I did one with the honeycomb, but I don't have it out. Let's do the honeycomb. So let's just put that on our little plate. And this one I'm going to use the Vintage Photo. This is the one that I use most of the time. So we'll do Vintage Photo for this one, and we'll just put some of that on the stamp. All right, and let's start right here. Let's push that down in there. There's that one. Let's put some more on the other side. And we'll see if we can line this one up there. All right, we can just kind of go around with a little bit of texture around the rest of it with what I have left on the stamp. It doesn't have to be there. So it looks like it's a little bit faded all the way around, but now you got some texture on that one. So as you can see on this one, I did like a floral stamp over the top, and I used my little stamp brush and colored in some of the rose, and then I did a little airmail stamp on that one, and then this one I did a first class stamp up top with another little airmail. You know what, let's put these aside and let's do something to the bases instead. So here is our base pieces. These are our base die cuts. These are the bottom pieces. So our top pieces are going to go on top just like such. So let's do something on the bases. So what I did on these two, this one I just did some inking with my sponge. As you can see, I just did some inking all the way around just to kind of give it that kind of inked look. This one I did a couple of stamps, but then I also did some inking around it for a little bit of texture. Let's do some inking on one of these with, let's see, let's do a floral or something. Let's use this stamp again right here. And I'm gonna use my ground espresso, and we're gonna just put ground espresso on here. And let's do up top up here, just on one side. All right, you're not going to see that very much because the main part of it is gone. But that's okay. I'll put a little bit more of the corner down here. So you see another flower down there, and then maybe one over here. All right, yeah, I think that's good. So I have a little bit of design on that one. So let's ink this one up now. Let's go with a lighter ink, which is Vintage Photo, and let's just distress up all these edges. So I'm just kind of rubbing my my Vintage Photo just around my edges. And kind of going all along the inside of my window. Just to really distress this out and make it look older. And it changes that bright white color into a more vintage color, as you can see. I like that. Just want a little bit of something on here. I don't want it too much, just a little bit. So I like that one. I'm gonna set that one aside. All right, let's do another one. I'm just gonna use my darker ground espresso and just distress. Just distress. No stamps on this one. I'm just gonna do a distressed edge with the ground espresso. So it's gonna be a little darker than the Vintage Photo. So as you can see, it's a little bit darker, a little bit more worn. All right, that's good. I don't want to do too much, but I just wanted to really distress that out. So I like that one. We'll leave that one. All right, we got one more to do. Let's do this guy right here. I don't know if you're gonna see too much of it because, like I said, this is a background, so most of it's gonna be covered, but we could kind of go around the edges with it, I'm thinking. So let me get my little block here, put my little stamp on my block, and let's use this gray. We use the gray, the hickory smoke on this one, and then we'll distress this in the hickory smoke as well. All right, so we're gonna take that, we're gonna put it right down in the bottom, just like that. And we'll go up the sides as well with that hickory smoke. So we're just gonna create a little border on this one. We'll go all the way around. Like I said, you're not gonna see a whole bunch of this back piece because your front piece is gonna cover it up. One more. All right. All right, so there we have that hickory smoke border on here. And let's also take our blender. Let me get some of the color off of that one. And we'll use this hickory smoke. Okay, so I'm just going around the edges with my hickory smoke right now. Just distressing up those edges, kind of blending in that print that we did all the way around. I'm really liking how this is looking. like this white area, you're not going to see because your cover is going to go on top of it, just like such. So you're really only going to see a little bit of the edges on these base cards. So you don't really have to do a whole lot with it. I'm going to ink up all of my top pieces right here just to distress these out. And I'm going to ink them up with the same colors that I stamped with. So this one was the, actually, if I'm using hickory right now, we'll do this one because this one was hickory. So I just distressed it up a little just to get rid of that stark whiteness. We're going to be decorating these also. So these are kind of just our kind of background pieces. All right, so I got all of my pieces all inked up here. As you can see, I was a little overzealous and I accidentally ripped the corner of one of them, but that's okay. I can glue it together. But we have everything inked and ready to decorate. Now we just got to figure out what we want to put with what. Now we are going to use some laminating sheets. So I have, let me grab a full piece of these laminating sheets. These laminating sheets that I have are just large 8.5 by 11 pieces of laminating. So this is what the laminating sheets that I have look like. You can get these on Amazon. I will link this in the description below. They're just large sheets of laminating, clear plastic that has a backing like this. So I'll take one of those sheets out. So as you can see, I've cut them into smaller sizes, easier to work with. So now we've got to kind of decide what pieces we want to go together and what we want to put in them. Now, as you can see, I had a few little pieces of dried flowers that I had bought in a kit. And I think I got the kit from Temu. It had a bunch of dried flowers. I actually have a few of the little pieces right here. Here's one of them. I also have a few of these little fabric flowers here that I'm going to put in one of them. You can put pretty much anything in these little laminating sheets as long as it's flat. So if you wanted to print out some things, you could print out some things. Just make sure that they're flat. Just going to kind of match these up so I know what tops I want to go with what bottoms. So that one went with that one. This went with this one. Let's see, what do I have? I have that gray one, and we'll put the gray one with the gray floral. We'll put those together. I have this honeycomb one. Let's put the honeycomb one on this floral background like that. And then we'll put this floral top on the plain background. Okay, so now we have them all matched up, what we want to go with what. And now let's figure out what we want to put in our windows. Okay, so I couldn't find anything that I wanted to use that I had in my supplies. So I went ahead and made some die cuts. And they're little floral die cuts that are mirror image of each other. So that way I can put them back to back and make them so the image is on both sides. So I am going to list these along with my other die cuts in a kit on my Etsy shop if you want to go ahead and get these. So I'm going to just pick some out that I want to use for each of these, and I will pull them. I'm going to just pull them all off for now. But as you can see, I'll just show you really quickly, because they are mirror image, they fit perfectly together. So you have the image on both sides, just like that. So that will be perfect if you want to use these instead of just a pocket, which you wouldn't see the other side. If you wanted to make them like a little flap so that you could see on both sides, that would be what you would need these for. Okay, so I'm going to just pull these all apart, or I'm going to pull these all off of my cutting mat, and then I'm going to glue them together or figure out the ones that I'm going to want to use. All right, so I went ahead and picked out some of the little botanicals that I want to use in each one of my slides. So I have a bunch extra that I'm just going to set aside so that I could always use these for decorating or something else. So I'll just set those aside for now. But these ones that I've picked out, I'm going to go ahead and glue them together. So that way they are all ready together and I don't have to worry about doing it later. So I'm using my Fabrifix glue, favorite glue. I always link this in the description below. This is the best glue I've found for paper crafting. It does have a little bit of a smell to it. Some people can't get over the smell. It has a slight like fingernail polish remover smell to it, but it doesn't bother me. It's not as strong as fingernail polish remover. So, but I like it because it doesn't make the paper bubble or bump. So as you can see, now you have a double-sided little flower that can go in your slide. So yeah, I'm just going to do all of these and then I will be right back and we can go to the next step. All right, so I have all of my little die cuts glued together, and I also inked up the edges to get rid of that harsh white line of the edge from the paper on all of them. So they're all ready to go into our slides. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our laminating paper, and what I did was I cut some paper strip pieces that were just big enough. Actually, I don't know if they're, yeah, I think they're just big enough to cover that cutout or that window on the inside, as you can see right here. So what I want to do is I want to peel up one of my pieces of laminating sheet, and I'm going to face, this is the sticky side facing up. I'm going to just stick that on my mat here, and I'm going to take my flowers that I want to use, and I'm just going to stick it right down into my laminating sheet, just like that. And then I'm going to take my other sheet of laminating paper, get it, and we're going to lay this laminating sheet right on top of my flowers. Now this is where a little straight edge comes in handy. I'm actually using my little bone folder. Whoops. And I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna peel this backing slowly so that I don't make air bubbles. It's probably gonna need to get pushed in around the edge of the paper anyhow, of the flowers, which is fine. But I'm just using this to push out all of the little air bubbles. All right, so now we should have a little slide like this. And again, there's going to be a little air around the flowers. You can just kind of go in there with your fingers and push it out as much as you can. And if you have little air bubbles anyplace else, just push them all out. You want it mostly all the air bubbles gone. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little background area. I'm going to actually take the cover to my slide, and we're going to glue this slide. I don't need the whole thing, so I'm going to cut off what I don't need. Because I gave myself extra here, but I definitely don't need all of this. So I'm just going to cut off that extra. So now I can see what will fit on the back of my slide. And I'm going to take my glue, my Fabrifix, and I'm just going to go around the edge of my window with my Fabrifix. All right, then I'm going to take my slide and I'm going to glue that right down into that Fabrifix. And I'm just pushing it out the edges. If it spews out the edges, it's easier to clean up than to clean it up on the slide itself. All right, so now we have our little slide on our cover like that. Then we can glue our cover onto the back of our back piece. I'm just going to take my glue and go all around. Whoops. Just careful not to get it on that slide itself, because you don't want to see the glue through your little window. And then you're just going to line this right up with your opening of your slide. Just like that. All right, so now you have your slide. All right, so this one is all ready to be decorated now, but I'm gonna get all of the other ones done first, and then we can go ahead and do some decorating. Okay, so I picked out a bunch of little tags and stickers for each one of my specimen cards. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of start gluing these little items down. I have a bunch of little things, as you can see here, some stickers, some tags. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and start decorating these up a little bit, and then once I get everything on them the way I want, I'm gonna run them through my sewing machine and do a nice little stitched border around them. So let's put this right there. Most of my little pieces here I've already inked up prior, but there are some that still need a little bit of ink. So I am just kind of going in and inking up some of these little pieces. I got a lot of these labels off of Etsy. Etsy has a lot of different kits with labels and stuff, so just some random little labels. Just picked the ones that worked well with each one of them. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna work on getting these all put together, and then we'll stick them in my sewing machine and do a nice little decorative stitch. All right, so I have some red thread in here. I don't want red thread for all of these, but maybe a couple of them I will do red thread, and then I'll switch out my thread. So yeah, I picked 2 of them that I'm gonna do the red thread on. I'm gonna start at my top right corner, and I'm going to do just a basic straight stitch. Let's see, I'm gonna start right about here, and we're gonna do a straight stitch down. I'm gonna just do a straight stitch all the way around. Not gonna get fancy with these. I'm just gonna keep them simple. All right, and then lift up my presser foot and continue that straight stitch just around the outside edge of my entire. So yeah, just a little stitch all the way around, really simple, nothing hard for this. I just liked the little look of the stitch. So I'm gonna do that for all of these. And like I said, I'm gonna change out my thread because I don't want red for everything. Red's not gonna work for everything, but I think it looks good on a couple of them. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so I have a whole bunch of these little specimen sample cards that I can pretty much do whatever with, but I'm gonna pick out a couple to go in each one of my journals, and I'm gonna actually use one as like a pocket for some tags or some labels or something. So I like this green one because I tend to use more greens in this specific journal. The one with the yellow and purple is kind of pretty too. I might use both of those in this specific journal. So I'll probably use two different ones, I'm just gonna look for a page. I have a page right here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna probably put this on this page right here. Now I can make a pocket coming down from the top, or I can make a pocket going in from the side. I have the lace here on the side, so I think I might do one coming down from the top, but I do have another pocket right next to it coming down from the top. So maybe I should find a different spot. Let's see. I have this page. Could do one there. I don't know, there's lots of places I could do a pocket. Let's see here. How about right here? How about right there? I think I'm gonna do it right here. That way I can have something coming down from the top. So I'm just going to take my glue and I'm gonna put some glue around the sides and the bottom, and I'm gonna leave the top open. I'm going to use my stitched edge as kind of a guide so I don't put my glue past that. Right, I'll just stick this right in here. I like that. So now you can see the paper that's on my page right through the back of the specimen card. All right, so I like that. All right, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put this one in or not, but I can. All right, let's move on to our next project. Okay, so for the next project, we're gonna be making these little hidden paper clip flip out booklets. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. I was originally going to make this a tag, but decided to put a little hidden paper clip at the top so you can just slide this down onto a page. So I've made one already. This is just, I'm using up scraps that I have, and I'm going to do the same for the two other journals. And I'm literally just using up stuff that I've printed out that I have left over for each one of the specific journals. So I'm doing the Sleeping Beauty one, which is this one up here, which has more blues and pink tones. So I kind of pulled out some things that have more blue and pink tones. And then the other one is the Little Red Riding Hood, which has more red tones. So I picked out a few things that have some reds in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do both of these slightly different. You can do them a bunch of different ways, and it's very easy. Honestly, it's we're taking some paper. I'm folding this one in half. So this one is, see, what is my size on this one? This one is about 8.5 by 6 3/4. So 8.5 by 6 3/4. I think there was something else on here that I used. It was from one of my digitals. I will list the digitals in the description below. I think this was like the French country digital that I got from Etsy. I'm folding this one in half. And the only thing you need to be concerned about is that you're not going to be larger than your page. So I can already tell that this is larger than my page. So what I'm going to make sure that I do is cut it down so that it's going to fit into my journal. So for this specific one, this one is going to be the Little Red Riding Hood one. I believe my measurements on that were 6 inches by 5 inches. So I can't have it taller than 6 inches and I can't have it wider than 5. So let's see what I have here folded. So I have 4 1/4, which is fine. And then I have 6 3/4, which is definitely bigger. So I want to cut this down to, what did I do this one? This one is about 5 1/4. I'm going to do the same for this one. I'm going to cut this one down to about 5 1/4. So I'm just gonna make a little mark where I want to cut this, and then I'm gonna get my cutter and just cut the top off so that way I know it's not going to be bigger than my page. Now I cut this one, I'm cutting this one a little smaller like I did for the other one, only because we're going to be putting decorative ribbon at the bottom and the top. And it's okay if it sticks out of the top, but I don't want it sticking out of the bottom a whole lot. So I'm just cutting this off. I'll save that. There's still some good colors on there. Now I also want to cut the corners off because I want to make like a tag shape. So I am just going to take my scissors to do this, and I'm just going to cut that corner, and then I will use one of my pieces that came off, and I'll just make a little mark. I'm going to draw a little line, and I'll cut my other side. There. All right, so now I have my little tag shape, but again, it's going to open up like a booklet. And I'm going to save these little pieces too, because these are still good little scrap pieces. All right, I'm going to just go in and ink up all my edges with my vintage photo. All right, now you can do the inside as well. I'm just going to flip it inside out and just do the inside right now. I am going to be decorating the inside a little bit, but I'm just going to get those edges inked up good. It is raining here. We have had a really rainy week. This past, I think it was a couple days ago, we got, I don't even remember what they said, how many inches we got, like 10 inches of rain or something like that. It was a lot. Downtown St. Armand's is completely flooded. So, all right, that is inked. All right, so I have a little bit of this polka dot ruffle left over. We used this on the cover. I'm gonna trim off this little strip right here because it's a little bulky, but I still want the ruffle. So I'm just gonna go and trim just along my seam. Just wanted to trim that excess off because I want to glue this down to the front of my tag. But before I do that, I want to add something else on here. Now I picked out this little, it was part of one of the vintage storybooks. I've been using this vintage storybook throughout all of my journals, but this is a little bit big, so I like the words on that. I like the look of it, but it's a little bit big, so I'm just gonna rip it down a little bit. And I think I'm gonna rip it down a little bit over here too. Yeah, I like that better. That fits better on the front. All right, let's ink this up. Now, I also used some vintage sheet music. I ripped out some sheet music, and I don't know what else. I had a bunch of tags and little labels and stuff I used to decorate. All right, I'm gonna put that right on the front, right there. So let's just glue this down. So now that's down. All right, now let's put something else, some little labels or tags. I have a whole bunch of labels that I cut yesterday. I didn't feel good yesterday. I had a migraine, and I just couldn't be on my phone. I couldn't be on my computer. So I printed out a bunch of stuff that I fussy cut out yesterday. And that's what I did all day, was just fussy cut. So I have all of this vintage labels and stuff. It kept me busy. All right, so I want to find something that has maybe a little bit of red to it. I've got this, that's got some red. That might look kind of nice in here somewhere. Don't know. What else do I have? I have this, oh, bottled Coke special. That might look cute on the inside. I think I'm gonna save that and use that for the inside. What else do I have in here? Maybe some smaller pieces. Okay, so I've been playing around with some things that I have here, and so I'm definitely gonna use this at the bottom of my tag here. So we're gonna glue that at the bottom. I also found a few more little labels and things. This is a used postage stamp with a little cardinal on it. I liked the red, and then I had this little scrap of fabric that has a little bit of red. So I'm gonna put that on the front. I'm gonna layer up a little postage stamp. I'm gonna use another little bit of scrap fabric right here that has some red on it for almost like a little tag at the top. And then I'm gonna put this little number kind of underneath it. So it's gonna be something like that on the front. All right, so before I put any of this stuff on, I'm gonna set it aside. I want to get my back ready to, I wanna get the hidden paper clip on the back. So I'm actually gonna use this scrap piece right here that I just cut off of here. I'm gonna flip it inside out, just like this. I'm gonna get myself a paper clip. I'm using a little small metal paper clip like this. I'm gonna put my paper clip over my paper. Let me see what I've got here for color. All right, I'm gonna fold this up. I'm gonna fold this over just like that. And then I don't need it too big on the back because it's not, I don't want it too big. So I'm actually gonna just trim this off. This piece that overhangs, I'm gonna just trim off. So now I have my little hidden paper clip. And if you didn't see how I did that, it's actually pretty simple. I did a tutorial on how I did these little hidden paper clips. You can check back in one of my other videos. This one's a little bit different because I'm not leaving part of the paper clip up to put a charm on. I'm just doing just a full hidden paper clip. So basically what I did was I took the paper that I want to use and I folded it in half. I actually cut off this bottom piece because I'm not using it, but I folded it in half with the print side on the inside, and our paper clip is going to be on the outside. So then I'm putting my paper clip on right in the middle of my paper, and then on the short side of my paper clip, I'm folding my paper up, and then again at the top right here, I'm folding it back over, and that's where I cut it, so that way it was even paper on the front and the back. So we'll be gluing this down to the back side of our card. As you can see, it pretty much lines up perfectly where I cut the paper from. So we're just going to be gluing this onto the back so that way we can slide this on and off of a page. So let's just go ahead and glue this down right now. Again, I'm just using Fabrifix for this. Just gluing all around where the paper clip is. I'll pull that up first, and then on the other side I'm gluing the entire page, or the entire piece of paper. Now this is cardstock, so it is a little bit heavier. You could do it with regular paper too, but it's going to be a little bit lighter weight, so I like to use more of a cardstock for a hidden paper clip because it gives it a little bit more stability. Especially if you're doing it on a larger piece of paper like this. All right, so then I have my hidden paper clip part. I'm just gonna trim this slightly just so you don't see that little white edge right there. And then I'm gonna take my glue and put it right on the back side of my hidden paper clip. Make sure you got it good because this is what's gonna hold the whole thing onto your page. And then I am gluing it to the back side right up near the top of my little flip out tag. So you can see that's my little hidden paper clip right there. So now I have my tag, which will open and close. You can write in it, and then you can just stick this on the front of a page. Or you could even put it in as a bookmark or whatever if you're jotting notes for a book that you're reading and you want to make one of these as a bookmark. That would be a great bookmark as well. Okay, so now that I have that on here, now I can go ahead and decorate because I just wanted to make sure that I had that in place. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue my little ruffle down to the front here. And again, I'm just using my Fabri-Tac for this. I'm going to go right across the bottom. I'm using a good amount of glue for this because I don't want it to come undone. And we're just gonna hold that down on the front. And I'll trim off any excess. You can see I have a little bit of extra on the one side here. So I'll trim that off. There. All right, so there is my little ruffle. I'm gonna save this. I save all these little tiny scraps because I always use them. Okay, then I'm gonna take this other little piece of scrap that I have and I'm gonna put that kind of on the top up here. Let's see, do I want the red? I'll have the red facing down. Okay, so just kind of sloppily doing that. And then I'm going to put my little postage stamp on top. Layer, layer, layer. Little postage stamp with that little red cardinal. Just bringing in some more of the reds. Right there. All right. And then I have this tag with the number on it. I'm thinking I'm just going to put that kind of right here. Kind of underneath my fabric a little bit. That's my oven. Sean came in and made a casserole and put the casserole in the oven. So we're gonna put that little number tag right there. I just like the colors. It kind of pulls some of the colors from the bunny. And then we have this other little scrap of fabric that we're gonna just put, we can open up our page here. Because we're just going to put this on the front and we're going to make like a little tab and it's going to glue to the inside of the front cover. So let's put a little bit of glue here. Put our fabric right there. And then we'll flip it over and we'll put a little bit more glue right there. And just flip over that. So it's just like a little tab at the top. Just like that. All right, very cute. And then there's our little hidden paper clip. Okay, I'm gonna just decorate a little bit on the inside here. I wanna leave some space for writing, but I'm gonna decorate just a little bit. I pulled out a couple other things that I liked for this page. I liked the little bottle Coke. I think that was really cute. I pulled out a bunch of things. I have this, the Eagle's new pencil sharpener. That actually might make a cute little like belly band. If I did like a little belly band or something and stuck this down inside like that. I just pulled some random things. I almost feel like I need something a little bit bigger in here, like another piece of scrap something. Let me see, what do I have? lots of scrap that I can use. Like another book page or something that I can rip. Let me see. I'm going to just grab a book page. Okay. Here I have just a book page. Just going to just rip a little bit out just to kind of have something in the background. There. Just stick that on there just like that. Again, I'm not thinking a whole lot about this. I'm just trying to get it covered. And sometimes I feel like that is the best way to do things. Sometimes if I think too hard about something, I overthink things and they don't come out the way I want. But if I just do stuff quickly and try to just, you know, fill up my space, it comes out more of what I want. So that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Put this in here maybe like that. I don't know. Maybe this one down here. Oh yeah, I like that. You can see I'm just kind of layering up some things here. All right, yeah, let's do that. I was gonna do a little pocket or something, but I don't think so. I'm just gonna get this on and get this one done so that I can go ahead and do the next one that I'm doing for Sleeping Beauty. Like I said, with these projects, actually I could make like a little tuck spot. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little tuck spot on this one. That's easy. So for this one, just on the bottom and the sides, almost like a little pocket. We're gonna do that right down here. Just like that. Oh, you know what? I should have distressed my paper. I can still do it. Let's just do this. Let's get my ink. Let's just do a little distressing. Yeah, just like that. Just a little bit. Do some down here too. Okay, then I have this little tag I can kind of just stick in there as well. And I have another little piece of paper that I can stick in there. All right, I like that. That's all I'm gonna do for this one. Now I'm gonna head over and start. Actually, this was cute too. I think I had this set aside. We'll stick this one in here too. So now we have 3 little pieces of paper in there, plus a whole side that can be journaled on. All right, so then this can stick into the page of my Little Red Riding Hood book. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the exact same thing, but for my Sleeping Beauty book. All right, so for Sleeping Beauty, I went ahead and cut out this page right here. This was a full digital page from the French Victorian, I think. But my Sleeping Beauty pages are slightly thinner, so I need less than 4 1/4 inch. So this will actually work perfectly if I fold this in half, because this one's got to be a little bit thinner. So I'm just folding this in half here. All right, and then I don't want anything taller than 6 1/4. So let's do it the same 5 1/4. Okay, so I love this little girl from the little storybook page that I have. I am going to rip her out very carefully because I want to get most of her. See if I can get some of these flowers. Don't have a huge space to work with, so all right, so there she is. Let's ink her up a little bit, and she's gonna go right on the front of our little tag here. She is adorable. Love her. All right, let's see, what else do I have for little things to go on here? I have another little piece of lace which I could put maybe here, put a little piece of lace right here, kind of like a little cluster. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let's just put a little piece of lace on there. I'm just putting some glue on, and then I'm just clustering up that fabric. See, you kind of just make a little cluster out of it. I have this seam binding, and it's this really pretty blue color seam binding. I am going to put some of this seam binding on the bottom of my page here, or on the bottom of my tag, but I want to sloppily put it on and make almost like ruffles out of it. So I'm going to put my glue on, just put my glue on, and then I want to just take a little bit of this and just like really sloppily push this seam binding on the bottom here. Just want to make it really sloppy looking, almost so that it looks like a ruffle, just like that. Just kind of just really push that down. I might do a couple layers. I'm gonna do, I think, maybe one more layer on top. So I'll put a little bit more glue. This is a sloppy ruffle. And just the same thing, just like push it on there. Don't like think too much about it. Don't try to make it look a certain way. Just kind of stick it in there just so that it looks, so it's on there. And now I'll just kind of push that down. That's what I like about the Fabrifix, is it works pretty quickly. All right, there, set that aside. So now I have this kind of like sloppy ruffle at the bottom. Now I might be able to put like one of these little tags. Yeah, I like that. I like that one. Let me just ink this up just a little bit. In addition to cutting out all those fussy cuts, I ended up inking a lot of them up as well. So that way they're already done and I don't have to do it later on. Because I hate white edges on paper. It drives me nuts. So I, most of the time, unless it's for something random, I most of the time ink my edges. 99% of the time I'm inking edges. All right, so there's that. I like that. That's very cute. All right, so now what do I want to do at the top? Oh, I could use this little ticket as a tag at the top. Oh, I like that. If I fold that over at the top, that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to use this little ticket as a tag. And let's just fold this in half. And we'll put a little glue. Put a little glue there and a little glue there. And we're just going to make sure we just take our front cover here. And we'll just glue that over. And that's going to be our little tag at the top of our page here. I still need something else right here. Don't know what I want to do right there. Maybe a button. All right, let's just put a little glue on that. Come on, glue. All right, and we're going to just stick that button right there. Like it, like it, like it. All right, I got that inked up. I'm going to take the rest of this book page that I have here, and we're going to use this inside here, put it sideways on the inside. I am going to ink this up this time. Forgot to do the last one. That's inked up. We're going to glue this right on the inside here. So I have this little tag, which I'm going to do like a little pocket at the bottom with. I think I'm going to round out the edges. And I want to ink this one up. So we'll just do our glue on our sides and our bottom of our little ticket or tag or whatever this is. One of my little fussy cuts I cut out yesterday. However, even though I cut out about 8 pages of fussy cuts, none of them were intricately hard. I don't do flowers, I don't do animals or things that have a lot of little intricate things. I do squares and rectangles and circles, easy stuff, because it drives me up a wall to do real intricate stuff. All right, so I have a couple other little things we can put in here. I've got a little stamp. Let's do some random other little things in here. What I'm gonna do before I do any of that, I'm gonna ink some of this white space. That helps. All right, so I finished them up. Here they are. They're super cute. And like I said, they are gonna go into my journals. I'm gonna put them on, I can't remember where I had them. Or I had one in this journal right here, but I don't remember exactly where I had it. Well, for good measure, we'll put one right here on this page. All right, so we're gonna put this one right on this page. And again, it will just slide over the top of the page, just like that. Very cute. And then the little ruffle kind of sticks up from the top of the page there. So there's that one. And then I have these other two that will go in the other 2 journals. You can see they both have the hidden paper clips on the back. And so I'll put this with all of the ephemera for those 2 journals, because I haven't officially put those 2 together yet. I'm making stuff for them, but I haven't put anything together. Hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Make sure you give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe, turn on that little notifications bell, and also make sure your notifications is selected to all, so that way you receive all of the notifications whenever I post. All right, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stick around for more videos. I have more coming up over the weekend, closer to the end of the week and over the weekend. Also, Friday Night Live is going to be tomorrow night. We'll see you again real soon. Take care.